How do you feel about this group going into the postseason? And
Excited. We went through some struggles this year. That's healthy for a team. Got off to a great start. Some tough patches there in the middle, but boy, we really rallied together and good starting pitching. Good defense. Offensively, we've really hit stride the last month. So I like our balance. I like our team physically and mentally where they're at, and this is something that they've prepared for. And for us, we've been playing postseason baseball, we've said, for the last couple of weeks. So just making sure we're in that good routine so that we don't need to change anything now. Just keep doing what we're doing.
Have you guys made about not being the night game and about a little bit of an underdog as you go into there this year? It's a little different than in the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, and Florida State was the 8th seed last year. They won the tournament and obviously made it to Omaha. So just shows you the depth in the league. Virginia played in the play-in game one year, went on to win the national championship. So 12 teams, it's just such a fun tournament. Only one team's going to come out on top. So for us, it's just have the mindset of playing good baseball. Let's just play good baseball, control what we can control. And I like the morning schedule. Our first tournament every year, we play a morning game purposely because of that. Throughout the year, sometimes you have to move games up and play at 11 a.m. And we talk about the national championship was played a couple years ago with Coastal Carolina and Arizona at 11 a.m. So I like the morning routine, and we get in a good routine this week. We'll practice in the morning as we did this morning. We'll play 2 times in the morning, and then hopefully if we advance, it's all early afternoon games.
Have you all made a decision on who will get the nod on Wednesday and how you'll work the rotation?
I think right now the lean is towards Reed Detmers. He's just been our midweek starter for the last half of the season. You could push Wolf up another day, but he's worked really hard this season, super consistent, 14 starts, having to go from Friday to Thursday last week, and having to move him up another day. We just don't think it's a smart thing to do for him and for our team and where we're at right now. So we think Reed is more than prepared, having pitched against a lot of good teams this year, and all goes well, then our pitching's in a really good situation for the rest of the week, having your weekend rotation available if needed.
How do you gauge your chances for hosting another regional, Dan?
I don't know. Like I always say, I don't study the RPI. I don't read projections. No disrespect to those people who put a lot of time into that stuff. I control what I try to control, and that's preparing these kids to play good baseball. So I think when it's all said and done, let's see. Like I said, I think it's fun for college baseball and for fans. They've been talking about this stuff for like 2 months, and how do you know? How do you know? This is a big week of baseball, and who's going to win the SEC tournament? Who's going to win the ACC tournament? Who's going to win the Big 12 tournament? And there's a lot to be said about teams who make good runs in these tournaments against the best teams in the country. So we'll see. It's fun being in the conversation, and we obviously love it for our fans, but it's nothing. We're not putting that kind of pressure on our kids or really talking about that.
Dan, your pool, you saw Wake. It was a while ago. What do you know about Duke?
Man, Wake was a really young team this year, but did well on the weekends, and good starting pitching, good young lineup, and Duke we just heard a lot about. Being in the top 25 and having a great year. So I kind of like it. We're playing 2 North Carolina schools. Hopefully, you have a good following and you have some good crowds. We've played North Carolina in the tournament there. It's fun playing, schools that draw fans, and so it'll be interesting. But for us, it's 2 really good teams, and obviously Wake was in the Super Regionals last year, and Duke looks like they have the type of club that'll be able to go this year. So it'll be a good test.
Because you've focused on postseason baseball or talked about that for so much, do you have to tell the new guys anything about real postseason baseball when you get here?
No, it's like I said, we've been pounding at home, especially the last few weeks. You got to pound the ball into the zone, you got to make routine plays, and you got to get timely hits. You got to compete offensively. For me today at practice, it was about base running. You got to run the bases the right way. It doesn't mean you're always going to be safe, but all the things that we preach, the way we approach the game is to try to prepare these kids to play good postseason baseball. So we're confident that they're prepared and we'll go down and have fun.
You got time for one more.
Sam's progress, any chance he could see ACC play?
I don't think Sam will be available this week. The good news is he's been throwing for the last week or so. There's no pain. He feels good. But we just got to be smart. And I think the goal is to get him ready for the NCAAs. That'd be a real boost if we can get him ready for the NCAAs.
Yeah, I know I'm sure you've talked about this because it happened so long ago. But what was your thinking in moving Stowers down in the lineup?
Sometimes you just gotta open your ears and listen to the players.
Oh, really?
And the coaches had talked about it. The lineup was scuffling a little bit, but really Josh was the one who sold me on it. Just knowing how he handles RBI situations, and I wanted to put the best player in the lineup up first. I call it kind of a high school thing you do because he can't pitch around him, and he's a threat to steal on the bases. But with the younger lineup this year, probably not realizing the challenge of driving in runs. And that's what older guys do. That's what old hitters do. They know how to drive in runs. And to have one of your most experienced hitters leading off, he wasn't getting a chance to drive in as many runs as other guys. And so that was obviously, I think, when we moved him to the 5 spot, I think our lineup took it to another level, and it adds a really nice balance 1 through 9.
All right, guys.